with the written comments that we received, plus an opportunity to talk about some additional questions we had, we now have a clear line of sight to activate our Phase 2b/3 clinical study.
Welcome back inside our proactive newsroom, and joining me now is Robert Dempsey. He is the CEO of OKYO Pharma. And Robert, it's great to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing very well, Steve. Thank you. We survived the storm up here in Boston, and we are very excited coming off the heels of our successful FDA meeting that was completed yesterday.
Absolutely. Yeah. Last time you and I chatted, you had mentioned that you were looking forward to the meeting with the FDA and really get some guidance about where this is going. And it was a Type C meeting. So maybe explain what that means and really what the FDA had to say.
Yeah, so it's an opportunity for us to engage the FDA, and to do so, we sent them a list of questions as we are preparing for our Phase 2b/3 study. So this is an opportunity to walk them through some of the very important critical components of the study, including the primary endpoint, some questions we had regarding CMC, which is basically manufacturing, the statistical plan, and just also an opportunity to engage the agency and talk about the significant unmet need in neuropathic corneal pain. So with the written comments that we received, plus an opportunity to talk about some additional questions we had, we now have a clear line of sight to activate our Phase 2b/3 clinical study.
Was there anything that surprised you in the meeting, or is it kind of went the way you thought it was going to go because of the work that you had done leading up to it?
Well, anytime you have a meeting with the agency, you're always on the lookout for surprises. Fortunately, there are no surprises. So from the standpoint of the preparation the team did, it could have been a question or two that may have thrown us for a loop. There were no surprises. And I think that the team was highly prepared. The team was well organized. And again, I think the advice we got from the agency and the feedback to move straight forward into our clinical study is very, very positive.
So now you mentioned the clinical study. So Robert, how do you take this information now, and what are sort of the stages and the next steps that have to happen?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first of all, we have to finalize the selection of sites. Then we have to work on budget. So with the clear guidance we now have on 120 subjects in this study, the primary endpoint, we can now finalize the protocol. We can then go out to initiate discussions with sites and really work on our timeline. Our ultimate goal, Steve, is to activate the study and have first patient, first visit by the midpoint of this year. If we're able to do that, and that's what I'm going to hold the team accountable, we can have last patient, last visit by the end of this year. So as we look at this year, it's all about clinical execution of our development plan. And the goal is to get top-line results in the first quarter of 2027. That will then allow us to look at the entire data set and see if we obviously meet the primary endpoint. And if we meet the primary endpoint, then it will allow us the opportunity to have an end of Phase 2b meeting with the agency and talk about the next steps. So as I look at this year, now that we have guidance from the agency, we have a clear line of sight to move forward with activation of the sites and moving this program forward as aggressively, Steve, as we can possibly do.
Yeah. And in the end, Robert, it's all about helping people with this ocular pain that can be so debilitating. And the FDA even admitted in the meeting that you had with them that this is obviously an unmet need that really needs to be looked at.
Yeah, and I think, Steve, it all goes back to the patients. One thing that I've learned, and it's earth-shattering, is the debilitating condition these patients are in. And patients have reached out to us through our information portal and described the condition and the quality of life that is significantly impaired. That gives the team, and I think you saw with the guidance we got from the agency, we have a very unique opportunity to address this. So we're very motivated to do so, not only to execute the clinical development program, but to get this drug in the hands of physicians so they can treat these patients who have this very debilitating condition.
Yeah, lots of work still to come, but a key step with the FDA. So, Robert, thank you so much. Great to see you again. I really appreciate you updating us on where you're at.
Likewise, Steve, I am committed to keeping you informed as we progress our program. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good. Robert Dempsey, the CEO of OKYO Pharma.